yards as this matchup features the teams who are 2-3 in the East. And CC Sabathia, the left-hander, lifetime 17-4 against the Orioles, will make the start. But he'll go against the big bats of the O's. And the Orioles hoping those big bats will send CC out of the ball game sooner than later. Game 1 coming up. It's the Orioles on Macedon, a weekend series and a big crowd coming in as the Yankees and the Orioles meet for the 7th time this season. These teams have split the first 6 games they have played, and the Yankees here in Oriole country for the 2nd time this year. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles 2-2 on this homestand, 7-game stand, 4 against the Indians. They split those 2-2. Could not be much farther apart in extremes when it comes to what we're going to watch tonight on the mound. CC Sabathia is going to make his 400th start, and he's going to look for his 200th win. For the Orioles, T.J. McFarland will make his first major league start. And for these two teams so far this season, here how the numbers look, home and road, for the Orioles against the Yankees. In New York, they went 1-2. Pretty good batting average, 3 home runs. Could not get the runs, though, against the Yankees in that series, even though the starter ERA and the bullpen were outstanding. When the series was here in Baltimore, the Orioles took 2 out of 3. Much better on the average at 307, more home runs. They jumped the runs per game up to 4.3. Starters, excellent at 275. Bullpen numbers went up a little bit, but the Orioles still got 2 out of 3. The Yankees' numbers 227 right now against the Orioles this season. So, Jim Palmer, the Orioles hope those numbers at home against New York will continue.
Yeah, and it's all about, can you score more than they give up? And that they didn't do it in Yankee Stadium. They did it here in Baltimore. And Sabathia started that game. They didn't really knock him out, but they did get 11 hits in, 6 innings. They got 4 runs, which, when you're considering his lifetime ERA, which is a little bit over 3 runs a game, and his record at 17-4, pretty good night. That was one of the blown saves, that little streak that Jim Johnson got in. So, somehow, the thing about these ball clubs, they're over 500. Yankees have scored, actually given up more than they've scored, and the Orioles are only about 8 runs, but they win. And, for the Orioles, it's about starting pitching. They've gotten 6 quality starts in all 6 games against the Yankees. You're going to need that tonight against Sabathia.
And as happened last year, second half of the season, the Orioles, Buck Showalters, had to just group together the starting rotation. This will be the 12th starter used by the Orioles. That's how many they used all of last year. We'll see whether or not the pollen falls on the Orioles' side of the flower when we come back. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Outback Steakhouse. It's always fresh in the Outback. And by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Another very hot day in the Baltimore area. Clouds going through, some rain. Neither team got out on the field to take batting practice because of it. Our train game time temperature at 82 degrees. And showers still around the area. Train celebrating its 100th anniversary by offering irresistible financing. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Yankees. It'll be Gardner, Nix, and Cano, Wells, Suzuki, Almonte, Stewart, Adams, and Gonzalez. This season for Cano, there are the numbers. Even he is not hitting right now.
And take a look at our scouting report. 24-year-old lefty out of the Cleveland organization, one of those Rule 5 guys. You have to keep him at least 90 days. They pay $50,000 for him. They loved him in spring training. They like the job he's done out of the bullpen. Well, first major league start. He's already pitched against the Yankees. That happened up in Yankee Stadium back in April. Well, keep it simple. What do you do best? He's a sinker baller. You know, the average a little over 200 with his sinker. Slider and changeup numbers are up. And then the right timing. Is this the right time, if there is any time, to face the Yankees? 8 guys on the disabled list. They have scored 3 runs or less 17 out of their last 30 starts. We will see. But the one thing that TJ McFarland, when he's right, he throws a lot of strikes and a pleasure to play behind.
Yankees right now believe that their lineup against left-handers, their right-handed lineup, may be the weakest in history for this Yankee team. They have had 2 homers in the month of June by right-handed batters. 2 in the month of June. One isn't even with the team anymore, Mark Teixeira, and the other one is in the lineup tonight batting second. That is Nix. But for Joe Girardi, this lineup that goes, the right-handed bats are really cold. Yeah,
and I think one of the things when you talk to Joe or you talk to some of the Yankees, they do play well here at Camden Yards. They do, even though they did lose 2 out of the 3 in early May, but this is a great hitting ballpark, and they do have a rookie. They like their starter over McFarland. Nothing against DJ, but CC Sabathia is your number 1 guy.
And trying to lay one down. It'll be bunted foul, and Gardner, the left-hander, who's got a 3 for 18 with a homer and 2 RBIs against the Orioles on the season. Gardner, of course, with that great speed and a .286 batting average. 27 walks picked up, 17 doubles. He'll take that one left center field, and he's going to be on. He'll be on his way to second base. Adam Jones. Gardner's thinking 3. Big turn. Jones gets it in, and Gardner's on with a leadoff double.
Yeah, take a look at our Nissan pitch track. Just trying to make a good pitch. You can see it's right down the middle. So again, we saw this in the Cleveland series. And it wasn't exactly a hitter's count, but the ball sliced up, and then when Brett Gardner comes steaming into second, the play right in front of him. Figures with my speed, I don't want to get thrown out at third.
So in the first batter faced by McFarland in a starting role, it's a double. And here is Nix. Jason Nix getting the start at shortstop. Nix has had only 1 hit against the Orioles this year, going 1 for 13, .241 average overall. He's had a .260 average this year against left-handers. The Yankees come into this still with the 3rd best win percentage against left-handed pitchers in the majors. Only Texas and Atlanta have a better win percentage as they come in with a 15-10 mark against lefties.
No, the one thing the Yankees can do, and that they can pitch. So it's not always, it used to be they'd beat you with their pitching and their offense. But with 8 guys on the disabled list, and you can just go around and look at their what you would call their core position players, whether it's Alex Rodriguez at third, or Jeter at short, or Teixeira around at first, Granderson in center field. They're not playing, and very few limited at bats this year. And even when they did play, they weren't fully healthy.
And amazing, they've been able to stay where they are, 42 and 36, their record. 2-0 delivery on the way to Nix. Ground ball. Runner's got to stay. Machado will make sure he looks him back. Gets it over to Davis, and Nix is out of there.
Now, let's take a look at the best defense in baseball, especially in the American League. Only 25 errors. McLouth, Jones, and Markakis have all won Gold Gloves or
multiple ones. Machado playing like a Gold Glover. Hardy won the Gold Glove last year. Garcia, Davis, and then two-time Gold Glove Matt Wieters behind the plate. And Gary, that was one heck of a pitch by T.J. McFarland. Got him a roll over, and they couldn't advance the runner.
So that will bring up Robinson Cano, hitting in the third spot in the lineup. And another left-handed batter in there. Cano hitting .230 against left-handers and .304 against right-handers this season. Cano last year did not do well against the lefties, hitting only .239 off southpaws. This time he's got a base hit into right field. That's going to get a run in. Gardner will score. Cano will stay as Nick Markakis will get it back in, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
They didn't waste a whole lot of time. T.J. McFarland, his average fastball's right around 88, 89. This is 88. So Gardner, ball was in the middle of the plate. You can see Matt Wieters as Chris Davis tries to flag it down. Hit so hard, Chris couldn't get to it. So a couple misplaced fastballs. The Yankees take advantage of a double single.
1-0 lead. 2 hits off McFarland. And here is Wells, the designated hitter. And Wells will take the pitch for a ball. It has been a real struggle for the veteran Vernon Wells of late. He's had only 11 hits in his last 93 at bats, dropping that average down to the .223 mark that you see. 8 doubles, 10 home runs, and he will foul that one off at the plate. Vernon Wells mighty happy to see a left-hander out there on the mound, though. He's got the lowest batting average against right-handed pitchers of anyone in the American League. And that's really kind of hard to believe for this veteran player. 190 his number against righties, 278 against lefties.
And it started out so well. Because of injuries, they acquired him from the Angels, hit 300 in April. Looked like he, when you talk to a lot of scouts that saw him in spring training, bat speed came back. Last year had a finger injury when he was playing with the Angels. They certainly had a surplus of outfielders. A lot of money, over what, $21 million. 6 home runs in the month of April, hit 300. They thought they got a bargain.
And they did for the April month.
Yeah.
And he did carry the ball club for a ways there when they needed him, but it's been downhill since. And a swing and a foul tip and a foul ball, and Wieters arguing it was out in front of home.
Well, it was.
Cooper.
And you know,
here comes Showalter.
Yeah, well, if the ball is in fair territory and you step on it, you've interfered with the ball that's in play, and you're out. And that's what happened. I mean, just because it's different when you bunt and the ball hits you when you're in the box, because the box a lot of times is not in fair territory. But this ball is actually out in front of home plate. It's going to go down, and now that's fair territory. And he runs into it. It's right between the lines. I mean, this ball doesn't go left or right. It just stays right there. Vernon's going to run, and it hits his leg right there.
Is he still in the box, though?
It really doesn't matter. It's different when
the ball stayed out there.
Yeah. And that's what Buck is thinking.
2-2. Wells with a runner on at first base, 1 out, 2-2 count. He is the designated hitter in the ball game for the Yankees for this one. McFarland, the 24-year-old left-hander, just turned 24 years old. 2-2 delivery on the way. He has always been a starter at the minor league level with a couple of appearances out of the bullpen. His record in the minors, 48-31 with a 3.83 ERA. And throughout his minor league career at every level, he went deep into ball games. He pitched a lot of innings. He would get into the 7th inning more often than not in his minor league starts. And he got him.
Yeah, buzzed him with a nice fastball. Double and single early on. I mean, the batting average against his fastball is a little over 200. So take a look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers, and we'll come to those in just a second. Take another look at strike 3. Now there's a good fastball outside third of the plate, and this is what we're talking about. 67% fastballs, and then 11% of changeups, the rest sliders. And look at the numbers, only 202 against the fastball if you keep it down and stay out of the middle of the plate.
Here's the hot hitter for the Yankees, Ichiro. Ichiro's got a 7-game hit streak coming into the ball game. and one of the only Yankees who can say he's got any kind of a hit streak going. He's had 8 hits in his last 25 at bats and has shown power during the hit streak with a couple of home runs. He's got Cano on at first base. There are 2 down, and he will take the pitch for a strike. So Ichiro with 2 away and a .353 batting average against left-handers. .353. It's over 100 points more.
113 points higher.
Wow.
And then he hits .389 lifetime here. I think that's one of the things you can throw out the last 30 games, 17, 3 runs or less for the Yanks, because when you come here, it's a different ballpark. Not that Yankee Stadium's not a great place to play, and it's not that they played all their games at Yankee Stadium either. But this is a comfortable, good hitting background. The fences, both left and right, very reachable. But the only thing you would say you don't like if you're a hitter, especially a speedster, it's got a somewhat slow infield.
That'll take the outside corner. Strike 2 on Ichiro. The Orioles winning the series here in Baltimore May 20, 21 and 22 was the first series win against the Yankees in Baltimore since April of 2009. What Jim is talking about as far as the Yankees' success in this ballpark. 0-2 delivery on the way. Ichiro will take it to shortstop. Hardy will go to second base. Casillas there. A run in on a couple of hits, no errors. RBI goes to Cano, and the Yankees have the early lead. Same number of wins home and road for the O's. They trail here early. Take a look at the lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Marquez, Machado, and Hardy, Jones, Davis, and Wieters, Valencia, McLeod, and Casilla. Major league leader continuing with those tremendous power numbers.
Take a look at our scouting report on the 32-year-old lefty. He's won 4 out of his last 5 decisions. Well, great number. Gary Thorne touched in the opening. 400 major league start. If he wins, he will have 200. Well, if you're going to go to the postseason, the Yankees got swept by the Tigers after beat the Orioles. You need a #1 guy. Is he a #1 guy? 4-3, 485 against the American League East. And then the Birdman, 17-4 lifetime against the Orioles, 10-3 here at Camden Yards.
And if you're asking why he's starting rather than David Phelps, good luck finding an answer to that one. Here's the delivery to Marquez. It is his scheduled start day, and that's what the Yankees have said. But the announcement came late today when the manager had to call over the other manager, and Buck called Joe and said, "Who's starting for you?" And Joe said, "Oh yeah, CC Sabathia." Here's the 1-0 delivery, and why not Phelps was never answered. And the Yankee Notes PR department kind of got blamed for it, saying that they had just misprinted. Well, they also misprinted their entire notes because they put both Sabathia and Phelps in the notes. So there was something going on about who was going to start this game. And for whatever reason, it's not Phelps and it's Sabathia.
Yeah, I didn't quite get a direct answer when I asked. And I talked to Larry Rothschild. He said, "Oh, well, it's his regular turn." I talked to David Phelps. I said, "I thought I was going to get to see you pitch tonight." No, tomorrow." I said, "You like the twilight?" Tomorrow's that Fox game at what, 4:05?
No, it's tomorrow night.
Oh, it's tomorrow night.
7:15.
Okay, wow.
And the pitch is a strike on the inside corner, much to Nick's dismay.
Yeah. I'll take a look at your Nissan pitch track, and you don't want to give a talented guy with 199 wins balls off the corner. That one seemed to get right on the corner. It's all about the umpire sometimes. Eric Cooper doing the home plate umpiring. So if you're hitting or pitching, it's going to be his strike zone tonight.
And that was a strike. Here is Manny Machado, 3-game hit streak. Coming into this one, Manny's had a couple of hits and 11 at bats against the Yankees so far on the year. Had his consecutive streak of innings played ended, of course, tossed out of the ball game first time last night. 1,206 consecutive innings played. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way, and that will be taken inside. And Sabathia with a 2-0 count. For the numbers, the left-handers have hit only 214 off Sabathia. The right-handers have hit 275. However, home runs, 3 by lefties, 13 by righties. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
Well, he's able to run that fastball, away. He's got a changeup that goes with it. He's got a hard slider that, for right-handers, you think it's going to. Sometimes you think it's going to be a strike, and it almost hits your back ankle.
2-1 delivery. Machado pops it back over the screen. For Manny Machado, after getting tossed out of the ball game last night, stood up to what happened. He said, I swung at a bad pitch. I thought I fouled it off, obviously. I looked back at the replay. I didn't foul it off. I was wrong. Something that I said wrong to the umpire, and I have to pay the consequences. I let my team down, obviously. Something that won't happen again. So good for him.
Yeah, he really, talk about accountability. Both, after the game, on the game. Every time you think he's really older than 20, he'll maybe do something probably bad. I can count him on a hand of what he's done, but that's a learning experience.
Oh my gosh.
I just think about the playoff game that Roger Clemens got thrown out of. You can't allow yourself to do that, but every once in a while it does happen.
That'll go to short on the pop-up. Nix.
I was talking to him today. I said I never got tossed while I was actually pitching, and that was over 500 starts. But I did get tossed when I was yelling at umpires on days afterwards. But the one thing, and I go back to Clemens in that playoffs, there's so many times where you're emotionally involved and whatever, but it wasn't a learning expense. Just imagine if that had happened in the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah. So it happens here in June.
Yep.
You move on, and he did learn a lesson.
Yep. Here is J.J. Hardy. Hardy in the number 3 spot against the left-hander in the ball game. Hardy with a 265 overall has had an outstanding month of June, and against the Yankees so far he's 9 for 21 with a home run, and he will pop that one up in the air right at the mound. Gonzalez, third baseman's going to put it away, and Sabathia starts with a clean first inning. We've completed one here at Camden Yards. Yankees have the lead. To their choice, part of Masson's Adam Jones Fan Challenge presented by Care First. So head over to Facebook.com/Masson Orioles to vote for your favorite finalist video by June 30. And we're going to show you the videos tonight of the 3 finalists. Here's the first one.
Hi, Adam Jones. I'm one of your biggest fans. This is Parker Duke from Suffolk, Virginia. I challenge you to a donut eating contest, and if I eat the most donuts, I want to be one of your guests at a baseball game. Thank you. Hey, Adam, go O's.
I love it.
Well,
that
you know who
is so great.
But he has an accomplice.
He does?
Yep.
Right back to the mound off McFarland. Machado will pick it up, make a throw. Not in time. Infield hit for Almonte.
And McFarland pounds his glove. I mean, that's a routine comebacker.
Leadoff man on Almonte. Again, one of the players fitting into the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, this is you just catch it, and you don't, and then it goes off your glove. He runs well. He's a switch hitter. He throws well. Hit home runs last year, 21 of them, because of all the injuries. But anyway, you got to have a DDE, a designated donut eater, and I think that's Kevin Gosman, because that's what he's done. Yeah, he is the donut man. So he will leave the bullpen and help Parker Duke when there he is. And he wears it well, doesn't he?
I love
those donuts.
Yes. Parker Duke.
That was terrific.
That was terrific.
No script or anything.
No. We'll show you the other 2 of the 3 finalists here during the broadcast tonight. 0 on the count. Here's Chris Stewart. That'll be hit number 3 for the Yankees. Stewart doing the catching, has not appeared against the Orioles in the previous 6 games, and will take the pitch for a strike. So the Yankees getting to McFarland here, leadoff man on. Gardner first inning, leadoff man on here in the second. As a reliever, McFarland had retired 70% of first batters faced. Obviously not necessarily leading off an inning.
Well, he made a good pitch there. He just didn't field his position. It's like an extra out.
Runner goes. Wieters from his knees. High throw and a stolen base. So Almonte takes off and he's on at second.
Well, yeah, you got the best throwing catcher in the American League, but they look at the times of T.J. McFarland. It's not a very good throw. You see, he's going to catch it. So he gets a big jump, and it's just kind of when you go down, sometimes you drop your arm a little bit, ball sails high.
So in his 9th game, Almonte gets his second stolen base, 2 for 2. And Stewart an RBI chance, 1 ball, 2 strike count. And trying to push it to right field, he fouls it off.
Well, we talked about the fact that they've really struggled offensively. So that's what you're trying to do. Last 15 games, 3.3 runs per game, 3 or less, 17 of the last 30 with Joe Girardi. Actually, has never got to hit a lot of home runs, but if he was hitting now, if he was catching, not managing, he would be thinking right field. Yeah, maybe and you work on it enough in batting practice. Your batting instructor will say, man on second, get him over. And you can get him over by hitting a ground ball. You can also hit a line drive. So that's what he'll be trying to do.
Or if you're Buck Showalter, get him in.
Well, that's another option. But we've already seen McFarland after the double by Gardner make a great pitch to Nix. Yeah. He got the ground ball to the left side that couldn't advance the runner.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and Stewart trying to go that way, goes after a bad pitch. So McFarland gets his second strikeout and the first out here in the second inning.
Yeah, just a little extra, 89. I mean, you will very rarely see T.J. McFarland throw over 90 miles per hour. But it's about movement. It's about location. That's why he has to stay out of the middle of the plate. Didn't do it in the first inning. Yankees took advantage of it.
Here's David Adams, the first baseman, with Teixeira gone for the year. Adams will be getting some playing time. These Yankees come in next to last in batting average in the American League, 14th. They are 11th in runs scored, and they are tied for 10th in home runs. So the Yankees offense has not gotten it done. Their pitching has been good enough to give them the 42 wins and the 6 games above the 500 mark, and Sabathia obviously a big part of that. Team is 11-5 in the starts he's made this year. He himself 8-5. David Adams good series against the Orioles. Has a 4 for 12, 2 home runs and 2 RBIs this year against the O's.
Yeah, now he's been on a prolonged slump. 4 for his last 41. Homestand up in New York, 1 for 24. And if you watched him when he did go 4 for 12, you would have said this kid really has it. Stayed inside the ball, hit a couple of home runs. If you threw him in, he'd inside it out, a little bit like Manny Machado.
Adams will take the pitch away, and McFarland falls behind him 3-0. Alberto Gonzalez, the third baseman, waiting on deck. I mean, you look at this lineup just listening to it, and you're going, really? These are the Yankees? And yes, they are. And got to put this thing together for the second half of the season and make a run at it. 3-0 delivery on the way. It was taken, and he walked it.
Yeah, that's not the guy you want to walk.
I want to take a look at the offenses, comparison purposes. You see the Orioles, 2013.
So we got here. So they outscore the Orioles. They out-home them. They had, what, 245 home runs, and this year the 8 guys on the disabled list. 201 out of the 245 home runs they hit last year are either disabled or no longer with the Yankees. Now, it doesn't mean you can't replace them, but it's hard to replace that kind of production.
And here is Alberto Gonzalez. Runners on at first and second, and only one away. Gonzalez coming off a homestand with an 0 for 7. He signed a major league contract and came up from AAA on June 21. And Rick Adair is going to go out, the pitching coach of the Orioles, and have a word with McFarland here in his first major league start, as he's really missing against the right-handed batters away and up.
And usually what that means, Gary, is that you get a little bit quick, you get a little jumpy. You want to do well. The late Mike Flanagan used to always say sometimes you want to do it so badly when you really, sometimes less is more. You got to try easier. And I'm sure Rick Adair had something to that, because again, for TJ, it's just about making your pitches, letting them put the ball in play. I mean, he can strike you out, but you just don't go up there with that intention. Just make a quality pitch, get a ground ball.
Gonzalez, 1-0 delivery to him. He's only had 4 at-bats against left-handers this year and has gone 0 for 4. Again, another player who's only in his 6th game of the season. Almonte is playing in his 9th game of the season for the Yankees, both starting this. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. And the ball in the dirt. Wieters blocking it, and the count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, I learned about minor league hitters after I got into my career. Earl Weaver let me pitch some of the AAA games. You go up to North Miami because the Orioles train downtown Miami, and you'd go pitch against AAA teams. If you didn't make good pitches, didn't matter if you'd won Cy Young Awards or 20 games, you'd be backing up a lot of bases.
2-1 delivery on the way, and way out in front of it, and fouls it off.
Now, once you learn those guys, and then you realize, who doesn't like the ball in the middle of the plate? All you got to do is watch the Cleveland hitters counts. Hitters that maybe are wondering what's coming, all of a sudden say, "Wait a minute, this is going to be a fastball. It's going to be in the middle of the plate. I'm going to hit it hard. Make a different pitch, make a quality pitch. Everything changes."
2-2 delivery, and there's one right there to get him. That's 3 strikeouts for McFarland.
Take a look at your Nissan pitch track. This is right after he pulled the slider, fouled, and he just sinks it. 87, didn't overthrow it. A couple of miles per hour flow, but watch the sink. Starts in the strike zone. That's what Gonzalez thinks it's going to be, and then just the bottom drops out.
Now he'll face the leadoff batter with 2 down. Almonte on at second base. Adams on at first, 2 away. Gardner a double and a run scored in the first inning. And Gardner 310 with runners in scoring position this season. For a Yankee team that has struggled in these situations overall, the Yankees are 13th in the American League with a .238 batting average with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, other than David Adams, 5 for 16, Brett Gardner has the best number. And he's been one of the, he's now hit 27 out of 33 games, over 330. And you saw that. Gets on, scores a lot of runs.
1-0 delivery to him, and that will miss. And the count goes to 2-0, so Gardner gets the count in his favor. Against the Yankees, McFarland has had 2 scoreless innings in relief. That was on April 14 at Yankee Stadium. Gave up a hit and a walk. It's the only time he has faced the Yankees. The Rule 5 pickup from Cleveland for the Orioles, and he puts that one in there for a strike, 2-1. And as Buck Showalter made note of in the press conference today for McFarland, he, like Ryan Flaherty, has now reached that 90 consecutive days on the major league roster number that takes away that having to send a player back if you try and send them down or assign them. Not that they're going to do that, but as Buck Showalter put it, he's now an Oriole. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and that'll miss inside. So a 3-ball, 1-strike count with 2 on and 2 down.
Yeah, he must have called that ball high because that was very similar to the pitch that Sabathia struck out Nick Markakis leading off the game. And also you have a guy that's a little bit shorter, ducked it nicely. By ducking, they just kind of stay in that crouch.
Gardner has Jones way in center. Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way, and that's where it's going to go. Perfectly positioned. Jones is there, puts it away, and Gardner's retired. Good job by McFarland. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 Yankees left on base. Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. The battery of the Orioles, McFarland and Wieters conversing on the bench. McFarland worked his way out of the jam. Orioles bat here in the 2nd inning. Jones, Davis, and Wieters due up for the Orioles against CC Sabathia. Adam Jones has always hit the Yankees well. He's got a .280 career batting average against New York, and this season is no different. Hitting .298, 3 home runs against the Yankees, against Sabathia rather. He's put up real good numbers off this left-hander. A number of the Orioles have hit CC Sabathia pretty well. So Jones stands in. Gonzalez actually in at third base even with the bag, and the pitch is a strike taken. Not sure if he really believes Adam might bunt.
Well, at least he's in a step even with the bag. Now he backs up.
0-1 delivery, and Sabathia inside with that one.
Yeah, he pitches inside when we talk about CC Sabathia so well that, boy, you better really be on your toes, balls of your feet if you're a third baseman, and they really play Adam Jones to pull. Nixon. It looks like Gaylord Perry with Frank Duffy playing in the hole.
And that's going to go to left field, and the line drive to Almonte for the out. Maryland Lottery hit a big contestant of the game is Jeff Becker from Baltimore. Jeff, you've won $500 for being selected. You get $100 more for every Orioles hit and an extra $500 for any Orioles home run in the 5th inning. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery hit a big contestant of the game, play 5-card cash. Go to mdlottery.com/Orioles to enter today. Chris Davis Major League leading 28 home runs. And Sabathia will get it in there for a strike. First 3 for 8 with a home run off Sabathia. The Yankees go into the shift, putting Cano into shallow right field. 0-1 delivery. He is moved back into the 2 spot in average behind Cabrera. Cabrera hitting .368, Davis .333. He's now 6 ahead of Encarnacion and Cabrera in home runs, and he is 4 behind Cabrera in RBIs with 74. 0-2 delivery, and he reached.
Yeah, he can be really efficient. He pitched a complete game back against Cleveland, only 116 pitches, so why mess around? Slider just off the outside corner. I think it's going to be a strike, and slider just slides away from the bat head. That's at least the intention of that pitch. Perfectly thrown.
For Sabathia here at Camden Yards, he is 10-3. This is the 17th game he's pitched in this ballpark, and a 3.51 ERA. Matt Wieters, Orioles switch hitting catcher. Wieters hitting .257 right-handed and .219 left. 10 home runs, 7 from the left side, 3 from this side. Yankees up 1-0. RBI Cano in the first inning. Wieters a ground ball to short. Nix. A couple of clean innings to start the ball game for Sabathia. He completed 2 here at Camden Yards of the 3-game weekend series against the Yankees. Yankees up. And fans from New York down here, and Oriole fans head to New York for series up there. Former Mayor Rudy Giuliani of New York on the right, former Governor Bob Ehrlich on the left, here for some baseball at Camden Yards. We hope their pockets are loaded with money and that when they leave, there's none left. Support that Baltimore economy. Great to have them here.
Oh.
Lordies.
Yeah. Well, I think they ate at Rick Dempsey's restaurant out in right center field. That's kind of good.
I hope he didn't give it for free. That's all I can say. Hope they ate a lot of ribs and shelled out great tips.
Money for everybody.
Money for everybody. And the kicks are free. All right, it's going to be Nix, Cano, and Wells coming up. Nix grounded out his first time up. The shortstop with Jeter on the comeback trail somewhere. And that's basically it. He's hoping to get back.
Saying he's running.
Yep.
Yeah, but is he running figure eights? Is he running the base? You know what I'm saying? All the things that that's the figure eights are what you do with your hamstring because it's one of the tests. And what was J.J. Hardy said? I'm really not that slow when I'm running in a straight line. That's what he told me a couple of years ago. He says when I have to run around the bases, and maybe I slow down a step or two.
A little bit. They've been very close to the vest on Jeter's work while he's rehabbing. just because I think they really don't know.
No.
It's
well, yeah, they don't want him tweeting like A-Rod did.
That's right. Probably not. Probably the general manager would appreciate no more tweets
Brian
from his
Cashman.
ball players.
Yeah. Maybe I was a little strong on that. Shut up.
99% of the time, Brian said, I usually handle things, roll along with it, and I'm able to take care of things. He said that was 1%.
Well, he keeps thinking of down the road how much money they owe. Hey, Rod. It's hard to be pleasant.
Oh, Lord. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that will be fouled away.
Unless, of course, he comes back and plays like A-Rod.
Exactly. The Yankees, worthy of note, have $94,500,000 worth of payroll on the DL right now. 94 million. Here's the 1-2, and that is a foul ball. And the count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. It would be interesting to do the math in that regard. I wonder, and I don't know, but I wonder whether or not the payroll of the team playing in this game tonight for the Yankees is less than the payroll of the Yankees not playing in this game.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Even when you factor in Sabathia.
Cano.
Well, Cano's making 15. Gardner's making 2.25.
How about Rivera?
Ichiro? Suzuki?
Ichiro.
Probably like 6.5 million. Almonte nothing. Stewart nothing. Adams nothing. Gonzalez nothing. Oh,
yeah, it is. And the pitch will be taken down low.
So, but if it's all about pitching, it only matters that they're paying Sabathia around $24 million a year, and he's pitching well.
There you go.
Against the guy making the minimum right here, and happy to do it.
3 ball, 2 strike count.
Oh, there is Mark Teixeira.
He's here.
He's going to have wrist surgery if he hasn't already had it to take care of that sheath in his right wrist.
Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. So Nix is on, and all 3 innings now, the Yankees have had the leadoff man on base. Take a look at our Chevrolet League leaderboard, brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Fielding percentages.
Yeah, top 2 teams. Orioles with 25 errors, the Yankees with 30. And then the Rays right behind them. Mariners and Twins. It's a nice little at bat by Jason Nix as he fouled off the good pitches and finally got a breaking ball that just stayed up a smidgen. And it's all sets it up for this guy. I mean, you can look at all the numbers. Just seems like when he sees somebody in an Oriole uniform, that bat becomes a magic wand.
Robinson Cano, lifetime 335 average, lifetime 357 average in this ballpark coming into the game, and he picked up a single and an RBI in his first at bat in this ball game. McFarland now has surrendered a run on 4 hits. Cano and then Wells due up. Nix on at first base, and McFarland will make the throw over.
Take a look at our Jeep average by numbers and nonsense. You can see 327, 257, 231, and of course he does have 16 home runs, 7-7 the first 2 months. So it wasn't like he got off to a poor start this year. Those are Jeep inside the numbers for Cano, and of course he is a free agent if they don't re-sign him.
He's made the appropriate statements about looking around and maybe somewhere else, and sooner or later he'll sign with the Yankees. 1-0 count. Nix at first base, Davis holding the bag. Cano's going to get another base hit. Markakis will chase it down. Here's Nix going to third. There'll be no play on him, and the Yankees cover the corners here in the third with nobody out. So McFarland, a tough Major League #1 start so far. Help paint the park orange on Sunday night. The Orioles-Yankees 8:05, nationally televised ESPN. And if you do so, special offers available for you. Call 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com/orange for details on the special offer for the Sunday night game. Now Wells coming up. Wells, a strikeout victim, his first time up. That's 5 hits for the Yankees. Wells, the DH. And that's the one he struck out on the first time up.
Yeah, when a guy is struggling, and he did get a big hit over the weekend against Tampa Bay, pinch hit a 3-run double up the gap in right center field. But for a veteran guy to be waving at a changeup down and away, it tells me the guy's brain dead. And at 11 for 93, he'll do it.
And he gets a base hit up the middle. That'll score Knicks. Cano will stop at second base. RBI for Wells, and a 2-0 lead for the Yankees.
And for T.J. McFarland, trying to find a way to get the ball on ground but get it at somebody. And then what happens is if you stay in the middle of the plate, good angle right here, you can see him reach a little bit, slaps it up the middle. They're playing him straight away. You can see J.J. Hardy, top of your screen, diving. But the ball was just up enough where he could get the good wood on it. And they got the makings of a big inning going here, and that's exactly what the Orioles don't want with Sabathia looking like he's on his game tonight.
Freddie Wells with the RBI. It is his 31st of the year. Runners at first and second, and Kevin Gausman, the other player talked about as a potential starter in this game. The long man for tonight is up in the bullpen. Here's Ichiro, shows bunt, and a bad one. Machado's not going to be able to get to it though, and Ichiro gets away with it. Trying to bunt his way on as well as move the runners up against Machado. Against the Orioles, you see the highest averages against the Orioles for active players.
Yeah, and then when you throw in the fact that 351 goes to 389 coming into tonight's game here at Camden Yards. Well, 13th year in this country playing baseball, and I've said it many times, going to be the first Asian Hall of Famer. 5 years after he retires, he was that good.
Amazing that he's had virtually 2 separate Hall of Fame careers.
Well, Brady Anderson, longtime player now. What is he? The VP, the vice president of something. I don't know. He's got many titles, but he said you could take the best American player, send him over to Japan, and I'm not sure he could win 7 straight batting titles like he did before he came to this country. That's how good he was.
Runners on first and second, nobody out. 1-1 delivered. He showed bunt again, and it's a strike. So the count goes to 1-2. Looking to get on here with a base hit if he can. Ichiro in Japan hit 353. That was his career number in Japan. 951 games played in Japan, and he came into this season with a career average of 322 in the majors. 1 ball, 2 strikeout. Ichiro will take it down low, and still has one of the real good eyes in the game, which is why it's so tough to get him out of there. He just does not help pitchers by going after anything that's out of the strike zone.
Well, he's 39, and you still have to cheat in a step or two because of his speed.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be lashed foul.
And he's also, I was talking to Kenny Singleton, one of my teammates now working for the Yankees doing their television. He said he'll loop it to left. If you make a mistake on the inside half, that's, as you mentioned, in the 353 batting average against lefties, where he drives the ball. And he can do that. Put him in a home run hitting contest. Maybe can't beat Cano, but he'd be second.
And down to first, and that one's going to be foul. His batting average against left-handed pitching is 4th highest for a left-handed batter in the majors against a left-handed pitcher. 2 ball, 2 strikeout singles by Nix, Cano, and Wells to start this 3rd inning. And Ichiro will foul that one off.
Yeah, TJ is trying to find some way to get him to swing through something. Maybe hit a ball at one of his infielders, something that hasn't happened too often tonight.
But Showalter making somewhat of a surprise decision to have McFarland out there on the mound rather than Gausman. 2-2 delivery, and that's outside, and the count goes to 3-2. But since he'd been a starter throughout his career and has pitched well out of the bullpen, Showalter just felt he deserved a chance at starting, and Showalter said, shame on us if we don't give him that opportunity.
Right, and it's almost like his regular term because his last appearance was on Sunday up in Toronto.
3-2 delivery on the way, and he got him.
Great changeup. Boy, did he pull the string. Well, this is what they like about him. He's only 24, first major league start, and the disappearing changeup to a guy that's not that easy to strike out. And boy, that's what the changeup does. He was well out in front of it.
So Ichiro, who came into the ball game as the 6th most difficult batter to strike out in the league, goes down swinging. Here's Almonte, switch hitter, picked up a single his first time up and stole a base. Runners on at first and second now with 1 down. Almonte, as we said, only in his 9th game, so hitting from the right side. He's only had 5 at bats, 1 for 5 now. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that will miss. And McFarland with a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, a young kid out of the Dominican Republic. Last year, hit 277, stole some bases, 15 out of 19. That was Double-A. Hit home runs, 21 of them. Had a bunch of doubles, 23. Goes to Triple-A, almost hits 300. Drives in a bunch of runs and hits 6 home runs.
1-1 delivery to him. Slow roller, shortstop Hardy. There's one. Casilla, the relay, won't make one. Did not have a chance. So they get the force out. Second base on Wells. Cano moves over to third. First and third, 2 down.
So back-to-back hitters now with T.J. McFarland using the changeup to slow the bats down. A couple of quality pitches, strikeout, ground ball.
And that will bring Stewart up, the catcher, a strikeout victim, his first time up. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs for Chris Stewart. And McFarland again looking for a big out. He's been able to find them. First 2 innings, Yankees left 3 on. Pitch taken for a strike. 2-0 lead, Yankees. 6 hits in the ball game. 3-game set continues tomorrow night. It'll be a Fox game, 7:15 game time. Zach Britton, David Phelps, the scheduled starters. Then ESPN Sunday night, Chris Tillman, Hiroki Kuroda. And back to the bag. Almonte not with a big lead over there. Chris Stewart, the 0-1 count. Runners off first and third, and the pitch will be outside. 1-1. McFarland, the 12th starter the Orioles have used this season. That ties the Orioles with Toronto for the most starters used this year, and it's as many as they used all of last year. Again, back to the bag easily as Almonte. One and 1. 61 pitches have been thrown by McFarland to get the 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. And the delivery down to third, and it's a foul ball. Ball right at his feet. And you saw Adam Hamari look right down after jumping up, indicating where it hit. He said foul.
Yeah, he's trying to do 2 things: get out of harm's way, and what a great angle right here. Where does it land? Right through the wicket, and then he's pointing right down at it. Kind of like being at in Wimbledon on grass, right on the chalk.
Don't smile. Don't smile.
Well, the whole bench is yelling at him.
And
Yankees,
again,
Yankees certainly would have liked to have that called fair.
He got it right. It was foul. And another throw over to first base. Stewart waiting with a 1-ball 2-strike count. See Manny Machado joking with him over there at third. Cano getting the lead off third base. Almonte off first. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Stewart's going to bloop one to center. Jones coming. Not going to get it. It is a base hit and an RBI. So a little Texas leaguer to center by Stewart, scores Cano. And the Yankees' second run of the inning, third of the ball game.
Yeah, perfect pitch, except you don't always get the results you want. Location is so important when you're pitching down and away, but then again, what is your approach? Are you going to overswing like you did the first time, or are you going to try to put it in play? And Chris Stewart able to do that, and it appears that T.J. McFarland's going to be out of the game for Kevin Gausman.
So McFarland in his major league debut has a very tough go of it. He leaves. Yankees lead at 3-0. But is out early.
Yeah, and I'm sure he thought about that. There are the numbers: 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits. He wasn't really wild. A couple of pitches, you can be wild walking people, but he did strike out 4. He did throw a lot of strikes, and I guess apparently with the Yankees struggling, this is what they were waiting for. So you go from a comfortable guy to a guy that can touch 99. Those are the numbers for his 5 starts. So it'll be the first time he comes out of the bullpen. And down in. He only pitched once being sent down, and he's kind of worked on his windup a little bit, glove position. But again, I mean, this is last year's #1 draft choice. First #1 guy from 2012 rushed to the major league. So power arm. Got a chance to be a very, very good pitcher.
He has not pitched since June 19. His last start at Norfolk, 6 innings, 7 runs on 10 hits. The last time he pitched here with the big club was June 13. So it's been a while. And the pitch will be taken for a strike on the outside corner. David Adams up, the first baseman who had a walk his first time up. Yankees have runners on at first and second base. 2-out RBI picked up by Stewart, his 11th of the year, to give the Yankees the 3-0 lead in the ball game. Almonte, good speed at second, Stewart at first. Adams will take the fastball down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
So there is 99.
Last game here on 13th against Boston. He worked a 5 1/3, 2 runs, 6 hits. He struck out 5, did give up a couple of home runs. Orioles won that ball game 5-4. And he'll come in with another strike on another heater.
Yeah. And David Adams says, I'm 4 for 41. I don't need that ankle high fastball at 98 called a strike. And he's got a great split changeup. That's what Joe Girardi called it. He's got one that acts like a splitter, goes straight down. He's got one that maybe goes a little more side to side. But at the end of the day, he has the kind of arm you want from a #1 draft choice. He can get it up there.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that will miss inside. The Yankees have 3 runs on 7 hits in the ball game. 22-year-old, only 1 season played in the minors. Last year, Aberdeen, he had a couple of starts. Frederick, he had 3 starts. That's it. And then up to the major leagues this season on the call up. 2-2 delivery taken down low. Pitched in the minors are obviously early this season.
So what do we throw? You got a lot of options if you're Matt Wieters. You're going to put the fingers down. You got 99. You got a first pitch slider he threw to was probably as good a slider as he threw in any of the 5 games that he started. And then you got the changeup. Boy, you'd like to stop it right here if you're Kevin Gausman and the Orioles.
3-2 delivery, runners go, and he did. Got him on the outside corner. So Kevin Gausman comes on, hits a big K. The Yankees, though, will pick up a couple of runs on 4 hits and leave 2 on. It is a 3-0 Yankee lead. By PNC Bank for the achiever in you. By Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. And by Chapin Davis Investments, Baltimore's oldest and largest full-service investment company. Call 1-800-222-3246 or visit chapindavis.com. Harry Thorne, Chip Palmer in the opener of the 3-game set here against the Yankees. At twilight time. Yankees 3-7-0. The Orioles looking to get their first hit. Now that's a fistful right there. Oh, man. Do not cross her tonight.
No.
Or she will cross you with a vicious right. So Sabathia's sitting down a long. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Equal footing, apparently.
We got to wonder the stands,
man,
tomorrow night.
I was going to say Sabathia's doing a lot of sitting here. These innings have been long for the Yankees at the plate. Whether that'll affect his performance here or not, who knows?
I think he kind of likes it, though. You know, he gets them out and they get him a run, and then they get him 2 runs and he gets them out. They only get him 4.25 runs a game, so he's kind of liking this.
Valencia is up.
For a big guy, he is so athletic. He made that play with his bare hand and made it look routine. I actually think he looks svelte.
Okay, moving right along here. Let's turn to the East Winds page. The Red Sox 48-33. They're at the halfway point, 16 straight year with a winning record through 81 games, and they've got a big lead as well in the East. That 3.5 game lead that they've got is the largest since 07. Since June 5, Jays 103-63 runs, 27 home runs. They're playing offense, and David Price told the St. Pete Times today he's ready to join the rotation. The team said, hang on, we want you to throw a sideline today and wait and see how you feel tomorrow. So Price, he thinks he's ready.
Yeah, and then as the reigning Cy Young Award winner, you can come back when you tell us you're ready. I think they would trust him. You would think.
One would.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They want him to pitch. Price. He wants to pitch. Let him pitch. Doesn't seem that complicated.
Rainbow lower right.
Right here.
Oh, yeah. Starting, that was Yes, you could see that.
I can telestrate that.
Telestrate that
There
rainbow.
we go. There it is.
Look at that.
Well, and then probably it likes to be here, but it couldn't
Very
quite
pretty.
pull it off. So it's
That's where the pot of gold is located tonight. It's pretty. Never mind. Pot of gold.
Pot of gold's in the Yankee dugout.
Well, the pot of gold's in the warehouse tonight, actually. Big crowd on hand tonight. Those two go together. A 3-ball, 1 strike count. And a ground ball towards second base. McLouth. Cano. 8 up, 8 down for the Orioles. Voting winding down for the All-Star game, and the Orioles, such as Davis, Hardy, Jones, Markakis, in a position to be starters in the game in New York, and Machado, Wieters, McLouth a chance to make the team. Your votes matter. You have until July 4 to cast your ballot. Do so at Orioles.com/vote-orange. And if you vote 35 times or more, you get a chance at that autographed All-Star jersey signed by the Oriole All-Stars. Adam Jones looking forward to going back, and believe he would. And the pitch is taken away. Casilla coming up. Looks like Casilla, .218 batting average, playing at second base, batting ninth. Casilla's had some really strange numbers this week regarding opposing pitchers. That was Gonzalez playing in, and there's no way a play is going to be made on that. We're going to tell you that Casilla has hit Sabathia about as well as anyone in baseball. A .556 batting average, 15 for 27. And that one, we'll wait and see if he gets credited with another hitter.
That is a flat-out error. Hit right at him. Hey, you know, if you're in between or whatever, but he's up. That's what the bunt does. The threat of speed. You never know what the scorer is going to do, but you would think that since it was right at him and he just kind of boxed it.
It's an error.
The Orioles get a base runner. I mean, right in front of it. Hits the glove right in, almost in the webbing. And then Karam's over to Jason Nix at shortstop.
So the Orioles have their first base runner. And here's Nick Markakis. Nick called out on strikes his first time up. Nick hitting .262 lifetime against Sabathia coming into the ball game. And 1 home run off him. Casilla on at first base. Orioles down 3-0, 2 down. Breaking ball to Markakis will be taken inside for a ball. Take a look at our AT&T Mobility trivia fact. O's outfielders, the highest combined average, 292, and the most runs scored, 157 of any outfield in the American League.
Well, how about when Nick gets on? That one of those numbers, Adam Jones is what, at 40.9? 41% of the time when he reaches base, somebody gets him in.
Well, the Orioles are up there at the top when it comes to the runs scored, and why they continue to have the rainbow shining their way. Boy, you can see it now, can't you? Isn't that pretty? Down the right field side. Here's the 2-1 delivery. I actually saw both ends of a rainbow driving in the Florida flatlands this past winter. I'd never seen that before.
Ever see a double rainbow? We used to have a place up in Juneau Beach. Double rainbows are beautiful too.
Gorgeous.
You get those storms that come in the summer, and then all kinds of, you get light shows, lightning and rainbows.
That's down the line in left field, and that will be foul.
So a little 93 average fastball for CC is dropped to just under 91 miles per hour. And it gets it up a little bit there, a little bit extra in a hitter's count.
Appears as though the rainbow knows it's on TV and has a quality agent because it keeps getting brighter and brighter. Sabathia, 3-ball, 2-strike count, 2 away. Over at first base, Casilla running. Adams playing behind him. There goes the base runner. Foul back again. And Casilla will go back again. Tell you about the runs the Orioles have scored. Chris Davis is #1 on the Orioles in runs scored, and he's 3rd in the league. Adam Jones 4th in the league. Manny Machado is 8th in the league in runs scored. Nick Markakis. 3-ball, 2-strike count, 2 away. Runner going, foul back again. Nick is right now the second most difficult batter to strike out in the American League. He'd held that #1 spot for about a month and not far out of the 1 spot right now. He and Nate McLouth have both been in the top 10 in the American League as far as difficulty of striking him out.
Yeah, the amazing thing to me, I mean, he got hit on the hand, broke his finger on what, the 8th of September from off of CC.
And he got him.
94. That's
so he's striking out twice in the ball game. And a runner left on. No runs, no hits, and error. Over to Facebook.com/MassenOrioles. You vote for your favorite finalist video by June 30. We've shown you one. Here is the second contestant, Matt Shive.
This is sure. He wants to play wiffle ball with Adam Jones. And this is Gabriel. And I'm Matt. And we are challenging you to a game of wiffle ball.
Do you want to play wiffle ball with Adam Jones?
We're inviting you to a game of wiffle ball.
We challenge you. And if you don't come, go eat dirt!
Oh, man. So there's #2. We've got another third video we'll show you here as we roll along tonight.
I'm going with Patrick Duke and the Donuts so far. No offense. That was pretty good, though. That was a team event right there.
See, right there in the 50s. Wouldn't that have been a great name for a rock and roll group? Patrick Duke and the Donuts? Even though he was Parker Duke. All right, here's Alberto Gonzalez. Alberto Gonzalez and the Yankees. He's batting ninth, playing at third. Strikeout victim his first time up. Gardner Nix to follow. Kevin Gausman on in relief of McFarland, charged with a 3-run, 7 hits, 2 2/3. The walk and 4 strikeouts. Yankees 3 runs on 7 hits. The Orioles still looking for their first hit. Strikeout #2 for Gausman.
Yeah, a little change up after he just missed 98 low and away. I mean, the bottom drops out of this. It's a pretty special arm right here. Orioles certainly are lucky to have him. But as we saw with Dylan Bundy, the key to young pitchers is hopefully they will figure it out and then they will stay healthy. Not always easy to do.
And here is Brett Gardner, a force with a double, and he's flied out, scored after he hit the 2-bagger in the first inning. RBIs have been a Cano single in the first, a Wells single in the third, and a Stewart single also in that third inning. His double's the only extra base hit the Yankees have in the ball game, the double by Gardner. 1-0 count. And Brett Gardner will take the pitch. It is there for a strike.
Hey, look at our inside the numbers, Jeep inside the numbers, Tommy Hunter, and then Gausman right behind him. So Strop at 95, Gausman, and then Tommy Hunter, who's pitched extremely well Jim Johnson, the closer, and then Jason Hamill, a starter.
Gardner thought about it and is called on it by the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper.
Yeah, Eric Cooper is he's watching. Doesn't even need the help of Adam Amari down at third. He's just wondering and seeing how far the bat goes, and well out in front of home plate. That was another good changeup.
So Gardner down on the count, 1-2. Fourth inning. Gardner's going to get another one to center field. So he's on with his second hit, 2 for 3 for Gardner, with one away, a runner on for the Yankees. Our PNC minor league report brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever. In you. And Jake Arrieta now pitching, of course, at Norfolk AAA yesterday against Columbus. A complete game, 7-inning performance, 1 hitter.
Well, good news. I mean, it really is. And the stuff is there. The command wasn't there. His last start in Detroit was optioned back to the minor leagues. You know, one of the arms, if you look at the arms here, when you look at, well, he's not as young as Kevin Gausman at 22, but he's probably right behind Gausman stuff-wise.
Here is Nix at the plate, and there is Gardner going back to the bag.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big differences when you come to the major leagues, and Kevin is now doing, talking about Kevin Gausman, is what I did. They brought me up, put me in the bullpen, got some spot starts my first year when I was 19, and what happens is you could see him. He made a great pitch. Gardner swung through it. He made an adjustment, didn't make as good a pitch, and he singled into center field. Now the ability to steal a base, that's what he brings to the Yankees.
Gardner's 11 out of 17 stealing bases. Wieters, of course, has been at the top in the American League and throwing out base stealers all season long. And Matt checking over again on what they want Gausman to do on the mound. Throw over, hold, step off. 0-1 count. Gardner not going, and the pitch is there for a strike, and he gets ahead of him 0-2.
Yeah, the one thing we've seen in talking to Kevin Gausman over the period when he got his 5 starts, he actually has another pitch, a curveball. He hasn't thrown it on the professional level, but he was a 4-pitch pitcher at Louisiana State University, which is where they drafted him last summer.
0-2 count. Gardner leaning, not going, and the pitch will miss down low. Obviously, a little added impetus for Gausman here in this ball game coming out of the bullpen. You know he would like to have been the starter. He also would like to have seen McFarland throw a complete game shutout, but he didn't, and now he gets a chance to come in, and it's an opportunity again to show why he should be in the rotation if he can go deep in this ball game. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, wave. 96. And the other thing he gets to do is that if you're Joe Girardi, you set up your lineup. I mean, this is 96, just off the outside corner. When you have this kind of velocity, you can't hesitate. And Nick swings right through it. Is that he gets to face a lineup that was kind of weighted towards a left-handed starter. It doesn't mean he can't get anybody out, because his stuff is good enough to play in any ballpark against any team. He just has to learn to command it, and that's why he's going to get his innings.
Robinson Cano, runner on at first base. He has 2 singles already in the ball game. Cano came in hitting against the Orioles this year, 261 with a homer and 3 RBIs, but lifetime 335. And he goes to right field. Nick Markakis is right there, and he's gone. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Yankees have the lead, 3-0. 5 to 6:30. Tom Davis, Dave Johnson, Mel Anton, and Phil Wood. They'll take a look at the weekend series against the Yankees, recap that for you, and preview next week's road trip against the White Sox for 4 and the Yankees for 3 in New York. That's the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report, Monday, 5 till 6:30.
A lot of runs in Chicago tonight. 26 runs through the first 7 innings. 16 to 10, the Indians.
Was the Indian starter lasted 2/3 of an inning in the ballgame, and they're only in the 7th inning, and they got another game to play, and they had an hour and 18-minute rain delay here last night. Cleveland did. They didn't get out of here early and had to get up early, and they're playing in the 7th inning in Chicago. Here's Manny Machado. Machado popped out his first time up. Machado, Hardy, and Jones against CC Sabathia. Down to third base, this time handled by Gonzalez.
This little zip on that arm.
One away. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park by picking up the Birdland Summer Six-Pack. You get the ticket to 6 games of your choice, including 2 against either the Yankees or Red Sox at one low price. Primetime games, non-prime prices. Lock up the seats right now, 888-848-BIRD, or go to Orioles.com. J.J. Hardy popped out his first time up. Sabathia's delivery will miss up high for a ball. CC Sabathia, only base runner against him so far, reached on an error. Won his last 2 starts against the Angels and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's last outing, he gave up the 5-run, 6 hits over 7 innings of the game. 1 complete game against Cleveland. 9-inning affair.
And a couple home runs in that Tampa Bay game.
Hardy will chop that one to short. Going to let it go through to short. Nicks the long throw.
Yeah, the one thing that CC has always done for a power guy, and we saw 94, maybe the velocity not where it used to be close to 100, is that he doesn't walk it. You have to earn your way on. Very rarely is he going to give you the free pass.
5 ground balls so far. He has been somewhat of a fly ball pitcher this year. 53% of the outs off fly balls. Pretty much even in this one.
Yeah, the only number that really jumps out is that much more comfortable in a hitter's ballpark, Yankee Stadium, where he's 6-2 ERA, under 3.5 runs a game on the road. At least coming in, ERA closer to 5 runs a game, 2-3 record.
Pitch will be taken away. Adam Jones flied out his first time up. Sabathia entering today's play, 5th most home runs surrendered and the 9th most runs surrendered by pitchers in the American League, and 2nd high in hits. None here so far. Came in 112 hits in 110 innings. 2-0 count on Adam Jones. Sabathia looking for his 200th career win and his 400th start. 2-0 pitch down to third again. Gonzalez has got it. And the Orioles still don't have a hit. This is getting to be a rotation here at home where they just can't seem to get a hit early in a ball game. Presented by Care First. All you got to do is go over to facebook.com/Masson Orioles. Vote for your favorite. We've shown you 2 of the videos that he's been challenged to. Now we're going to show you the 3rd. This is Charles Fleming.
Adam Jones, I challenge you to a game of Dance Dance Revolution.
And that's it. See, there's a succinct young man right there. Charles Fleming had a thought, got it out, put a period at the end of the sentence. All right, go to facebook.com/Masson Orioles. And for one of you can look at the videos there, see them again, and vote for the one you would like to see be the challenged Adam Jones.
Yeah, Charles is about the moves, not the words.
Exactly. I'll assume you know that. Here is Vernon Wells. He'll put the ball in the air to center field. Jones. Wells is retired. One down here in the 5th inning. Tuesday, July 9, the first 10,000 fans 15 and over will receive a Nate McLouth Base Bandit t-shirt. Don't miss this fun collector's item, sure to be a fan favorite. It'll be Ollie's Bargain Night as well, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserve seats $9 in advance to get your Nate McLouth t-shirt. Save. Great night out here at the Yard. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com. Nate McLouth Base Bandit t-shirt. Here is Ichiro, hit into a fielder's choice and has struck out. I would say about our 3rd contestant, he lives up to one of the great lines of all time. I would have written you a shorter letter, but I didn't have time. Suzuki with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 7-game hit streak coming in. Gausman on the mound trying to hold this game at 3-0. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Yankees and give the Orioles the offense a chance, as it's been doing of late, to come on late in the ballgame. Inside to Ichiro, 2-1. Gausman's delivery to him, and Ichiro swings through that one. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Gausman coming on, getting the strikeout to end the 3rd, 2 more in the 4th. Almonte waiting on deck for the Yankees. 2-2 delivery. Popped that one up, shallow center behind second base. Casilla, oops,
yeah,
wind blew it a little.
Yeah. JJ said, you can take it. And he did. A little change up, a couple of pop-ups. This guy had a slider. Well, Kevin Gausman doing exactly what you want to do. How'd you like to have about? Reminds me when last year the Orioles went wire to wire in 1997. Davey Johnson used to say, "Got a National League bullpen," meaning they all threw flames. This guy throws flames. 99, his first fastball tonight, and it's not like he's
nice and
putting
easy.
a lot of effort into it.
Almonte will foul it off. Almonte is single, fielder's choice, stolen base for the Yankee left fielder. Yankees offense has really been a problem, even though they've got 3 in this one. They are averaging over a run per game less than last year, the biggest drop in baseball. 0-1 delivery, that's inside. They've had a 27-point drop in their batting average from last year. That is the 2nd biggest drop. You know who has the largest drop in average? The Nationals. You know, even he's struggling a little bit right now. 1-1 delivery on the way, but not in this ball game. And the pitch away, 2-ball, 1-strike count on Almonte.
Yeah, the Nationals 5 back of the Atlanta Braves. 500, 39 and 99, 90 or 39 and 39. Now what? 98 wins last year.
Amazing.
Well, when they get healthy, Harper out on rehab.
Great races all the way around. Second half. McLouth is there, and he's got it. So Almonte retired in a good clean inning for Kevin Gausman. Now the Oriole bats trying to find their first hit of the ball game. Yankees have the early 3-0 lead in the ball game. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer back here with you at Camden Yards. What makes Sabathia so effective even now at this point of his career?
Well, he can pitch. He stayed out of the middle of the plate tonight. He's used, 3 different pitches. He's added some when he had to. Marquez got to 94 when he's throwing 90, 91 on. And this is, you talked about it in the Open. This is his 400th start. He's trying to win his 200th game. That's huge. I mean, there's only been 27 guys, 8 since the expansion, that have done it under 33 years of age. If he does it tonight, he'll be one of those.
So he's on the mound and right now has the 3-0 lead in the ball game. Evan Gossman, great work out of the bullpen here in this game. Talking with Rick Hideo, the pitching coach. And a swing and a miss, and another one in which he throttles way back on Chris Davis, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Well, this is a game. You can have all the stuff, and we see it with young pitchers all the time, whether it's Arrieta. We've seen it with Kevin Gossman, very inexperienced 22-year-old, but just look where the glove is from Chris Stewart. I mean, Chris Stewart last year had an ERA, what he caught at 3.41. He knows what he's doing, and then you have a guy going for his 200th win. I mean, the Orioles are just trying to get a hit. No walks yet. And this is up and in.
Davis, a strikeout victim, will take it inside. 2-2.
So all you got to do is kind of watch the catcher, and when you get a veteran pitcher, like CC, only 32, and see good numbers. But tonight he's been pretty special through the first 4.
2-2 delivery on the way, and he got him again. And Chris Davis has been struck out twice swinging.
I think the one thing that people forget, that 32 is not old, but he did have elbow surgery, had the elbow cleaned up after last year. So now all of a sudden there's 3 extra miles when he needs it. So he's actually adding, subtracting with his fastball, and it's nice to be able to go to 94 when you need it.
That'll bring up Matt Waiters. Davis, a strikeout victim twice by Sabathia. 4 Ks in the game for the left-hander. Waiters grounded out his first time up. His average against Sabathia a bit below 200 right now, with 1 home run lifetime. Our 5th inning home run bonus this inning only. Our Maryland Lottery hit it big contestant of the game gets 500 for any Orioles home run. And Jeff Becker is our contestant. He won 500 so far. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery hit it big contestant of the game, play 5-card cash. Go to mdlottery.com/Orioles. Ground ball to short. Nix. 2 away here in the 5th inning. The lone base runner for the Orioles. Casilla made it on an error. 2 down 3rd inning and was stranded. That will bring up Valencia as the DH in the ball game. Valencia grounded out his first time up. He's 4 for 15 now. Lifetime off Sabathia. Sabathia after his 18th win against only 4 losses against the Orioles lifetime. The Orioles, a long way to go in the ball game, and a lot of late bat numbers that they have put up this season. Fouled away for a strike on Danny Valencia.
I asked Danny, how do you hit CC? He said, yeah, I hit him all right. And when you go look at the numbers, it's 286, 4 for 14. He said, I don't think I've ever hit a home run off him. 1 double, and he hasn't.
0-1 delivery by Sabathia to him, and that's up high for a ball.
Now you go back to that May 20th game where the Orioles got the 4 runs and 11 hits in 6 and 3rd innings. They really made him work. Didn't have the command he has tonight to this point. But as we've seen, I mean, was there a better 6-inning game than Justin Masterson pitched the other night until he got to the 7th?
Nope.
And it was like a totally different guy.
Well, the Orioles have had that happen here. They've put those bats together. That'll be popped up shallow right field. Ichiro. First baseman Adams had his arms up in the air. He had no idea where the ball might have gone. Another 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia. Yankees 3, Orioles 0.
Early lead. Cano drives in Gardner, who had doubled. Gardner scoring for the 45th time this year. And then Vernon Well, who's been struggling. A little ground ball up the middle. And as Nix would score to make it 2-0. And then pretty good pitch, but bad result is Chris Stewart's third run for the Yankees. Sabathia. Boy, he's been lights out tonight. Yet to give up a base hit. Sliders, well-located fastballs, occasional changeups. So take a look at T.J. McFarland in his first major league start. Really doesn't get roughed up, but they have some nice at-bats. And then CeCe. He has been perfect, well, other than the error, through the first 5 innings.
And the Yankees will bat here in the 6th inning. Chris Stewart. Stewart will take a strike from Kevin Gausman as Stewart has singled and struck out, bottom third of the order for the Yankees. Yankees coming in having lost 2 in a row. Yankees were shut out in the ballgame yesterday. They quickly ended that with a run in the first inning of this ball game. Derek Holland shut them out. Just 2 hits.
2 hits and 2 walks.
And the Yankees
92 pitches.
Equaled the hits in that game in the first inning of tonight's game. 0-2 delivered to Stewart, and that's going to be down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Yankees have won 18 and lost 13 against the East. They've done a good job. The Orioles are a game under 500 against the East, 17 and 18. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery, and held up on it. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Everybody talking, of course, about the American League East before the season started, and even more so now, as all 5 teams are playing 500 or better ball. Toronto coming in at 500, the Yankees 538, and the Orioles 550. And that is a foul ball outside of first base. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Stewart.
Oh, as you get towards the end of July, that's going to heat up that trade activity. But he's going to think that maybe a player or 2 will make a difference.
Orioles going to reach the halfway point tomorrow, believe it or not. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And that's the other way, and foul.
Yeah, the big story, the Yankees, of course, they would like to get, with Mark Teixeira going to be out and have the wrist operation, like to get a right-handed bat. We're going to Chicago with the name of Paul Konerko, with the White Sox not playing up to what they thought would be their capabilities. And not that he's having a great year, not having a Konerko-like year. Certainly could be available, I suppose.
2-2 delivery on the way, and Gausman gets him, and that's 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, it just drops the changeup. I mean, sliders and fastballs, and then the bottom drops out. What they liked about Kevin Gausman all spring, and he got a lot of innings, was the fact that he had a sinking fastball and a changeup. Both of those pitches go down, induces a lot of ground balls. But just think about it, what, 46 innings in Double-A before he came to the big leagues, and all of a sudden you're starting against Toronto, in Toronto.
Big swing and a miss by Adams. David Adams has walked and called out on strikes.
Now, we've seen him change the way he holds his hand. We've seen the way he changes. He was bringing his shoulder to his knee instead of his shoulder to knee to his shoulder. So he's made that adjustment all in about a month and a half, all at age 22.
And that one will miss. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Red Sox have jumped on Toronto for the 5-0 lead early. Detroit's got a 2-run lead on Tampa in the 6th inning. Other games affecting the American League East. 1-1 delivery on the way, and it'll be taken down low. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Gausman has not walked anybody. He has struck out 4, working in his 3rd full inning. Only hit off him, a single by Gardner in the 4th. The only base runner against him. Here's the 2-1, and that one to left center field is going to fall in. Jones will get it back in, and David Adams is on with a base hit, 1 away here in the 6th inning. Oriole Park, the perfect setting for your next group outing. Gather up family, friends, co-workers, colleagues. Have a great day or night here at the ballpark. Discounted ticket prices, groups as small as 12, Party facilities up to 1,000. Oriole Park, Camden Yards, great outing place for you. Details 888-848-BIRD. Go to Orioles.com. All rides are not free. That one is. Here's Gonzalez, a strikeout victim twice. And that's going to be a looper. Markakis there, and he's got it. Runner back to the bag.
Yeah, Berto Gonzalez, the type of guy, when you look at his numbers, you don't play him very deep to the opposite field. So nice positioning by Nick Markakis.
So 2 down. And that will bring up top of the order Gardner with the single, double, and he is flied out. Gardner only a .227 career average against the Orioles coming into the ball game, but a 2 for 3 and a run scored in this one. And now he has had 5 hits on the season against the Orioles, 5 for 21. Gardner hitting a .290 on the year, 2 down. And a little roller. Casilla will have to hustle it with that speed. He does, and he gets it. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Bottom of the 6th coming up with McLeod, Casilla, and Markakis. Number has been brought by the Yankees. Gardner picking up a double. Cano's had an RBI and a base hit. Base hit off the pitcher. Robinson Cano, another hit, second time up with score. Gardner with his second hit of the night in the 4th inning. Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Here is Nate McLeod. McLeod grounded out his first time up. Interesting note by one of the world's all-time great statisticians advising me tonight. Nate McLeod has had 13 plate appearances in a position in the lineup other than leadoff, and he has no hits. All of his hits have come in the leadoff spot for the Orioles.
So he's playing against the lefty, even though his numbers, two of his home runs are against left-handed pitching. CC, the amazing number, other than the fact that he's got a no-hitter going tonight, they've only attempted 1 stolen base all year against the big lefty.
That's going to be the first hit. So there.
Yeah.
Brought that up just in time. There's his first hit at a position other than leading off, and for the Orioles their first hit off Sabathia, a leadoff single in the 6th inning. In our Hollywood Casino League leaderboard, slots, tables, dining, the ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Highest percentage scoring after reaching a base, what you were talking about earlier.
Yep. Well, there you go, McLeod Jones. Well, obviously with 24 steals for Nate. It'll be very interesting if he attempts trying to manufacture some runs. That's the one thing the Yankees have done tonight. even though they only were hitting, what, 238 with runners in scoring position, is gets when it counted.
Garcia reached on an error, has that amazing .556 batting average against CC Sabathia coming into the ball game. One down. Down to third. That will be foul, and just foul.
I always found that guys that may not be great players but had great numbers individually against you was usually the fact that maybe they saw the ball a little bit better. Maybe you were a high ball pitcher, they were high ball hitters, or the fact that you constantly could not make any quality pitches. I mean, that's what it comes down to sometimes.
He is 15 for 28 lifetime against Sabathia.
And earlier, back in May, he didn't even know it.
Nope.
He said, I know I hit him well. I didn't know.
And no play.
Yeah, the numbers were that good.
That'll get you a start. And it has in this ball game. But Casilla, as we mentioned earlier, has had in this series a couple of starts because of the numbers that he's had against opposing pitchers, and good ones in the game. When Justin Masterson started, he was 9 for 26 with a home run against Masterson.
No, you were talking about that, and then he hit the next pitch for a 3-run home run.
And we appreciate that sort of help. 0-2 delivery on the way, and leaned out, worried about it, as Casilla just missed.
Yeah, a little changeup, and we talked about, do you see the pitch? Can you pick up that little window? Apparently so. That ball just off the outside corner.
Sabathia, 64 pitches thrown in the ball game. McLouth at first. 1-2. And a swing and a foul ball.
I was listening to one of the Yankees games when I was off earlier in the week, and Paul O'Neill won a batting title for the Yanks, 300, 5 straight years. He said that pitch that Casilla took off the outside corner, he's the one that when the ball goes by, you hold your breath, waiting for the umpire, hopefully not to call you out.
He did that time.
Yeah, and he really did make a nice call on it for Eric Cooper.
1-2 delivery on the way, back inside this time, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
So we're seeing a little bit extra zip on the fastball, and you would think he just comes up and in. Now he's opened up that outside corner.
2-2.
And they play him like 4 steps into right center. So huge gap out in left center field.
2-2 chopper. Nobody's going to get this one.
Yep.
That's a base hit. Casilla, nobody could get the first with Adams coming in. Cano had no chance to get to the bag for a play. Hit number 2 for the Orioles.
Well, very much like the Chris Stewart base hit that he flared into center field. You make a good pitch, you get a good result. I mean, don't even get it by the pitching mound, and there's nobody there. Cano can't get there.
So the Orioles, here they go again, trailing only 3-0 in the ball game. The team that has in this homestand against Cleveland in particular come up with a late inning rallies, trying to do it again. I mean, we're only in the 6th inning, but remember Sabathia had pitched a no-hitter through 5 before that leadoff single this inning by McLouth. 2-1.
And what Kevin Gausman did by coming out of the bullpen and slamming the door is give his teammates hope. We're hoping right now that Markakis could get going.
2 strikeouts in the game. Nick will foul that one back. Markakis has been one of the best getting people in this season when given a chance. Nick with runners in scoring position, 322. And he's got a chance right here.
And can't quite get the ball centered tonight as of yet.
0-1 delivery Sabathia. That'll be foul tipped at the plate.
Well, take a look, and this is one of the reasons the Orioles come in right behind the Tigers. Who runners, run scored. Red Sox leading. Davis 400, Machado 368, is Nick Markakis 322, and then Adam Jones. So guys not only can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but when they have an opportunity to drive in runs. I mean, the one thing you look at Nick, he's not having a great June, average of 228, but he's been able to drive runs in because he's gotten big hits. Average is not where he would like it for this month.
0-2 delivery. Sabathia lays one in outside. 1 ball, 2 strike count. McLeod and Casilla on for the Orioles, as the Orioles try and get on the board against CC Sabathia, with the top of the order up, and Sabathia really for the first time having to work hard in an inning, retiring the side in order in 4 of the first 5, with only 1 runner getting on that, an error. 1-2 count, holding the runner close at second base, and Markakis will pop it up in the infield. Infield fly rule is in effect. Play will be made by Stewart. Markakis retired. There's the first out of the inning. Orioles won and scored 5 or more runs yesterday. That means you get 50% off your regular menu price online order today from Papa John's. Just enter promo code Orioles5 at papajohns.com when ordering. Valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. One away, Manny Machado. Manny has popped out and grounded out.
Well, that was,
game hit streak.
Certainly a big out, and it was a big out, number 1, because he got it, and number 2 for CC Sabathia. He couldn't advance any runners.
And Machado will take the pitch for a strike.
I don't really see a whole lot of difference in CC Sabathia. I think back in May, where he struggled, the velocity was 89 and 91. It's a different guy. Maybe that's why he's won 4 of his last 5 decisions. And he's 92 to 94 tonight on occasion when he needs it.
Manny Machado with runners in scoring position, 5th best average in the American League starting today. Runners off first and second base. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Sabathia's pitch will be inside, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
And boy, do they play him deep in center field. You don't see too many center field. I mean, that's your center fielder. He's almost in Baltimore County. Brett Gardner.
That's a little different for Gardner, who has a history of playing in and liking to go back.
And you know, maybe the scoreboard 3-0. You know, you got a guy 36 doubles at the plate.
And Sabathia will miss. 2-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, the one thing that Eric Cooper has really done a nice job of behind the plate tonight is that, yes, he's a high ball umpire, but he has made the pitchers throw the ball over the plate. And hitters like that. Not giving them that extra inch or so off the, at least at this point, off either sides of the corner.
Machado with a 2 for 13 career off Sabathia. And he's going to get a base hit into the gap. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Here comes McLeod. Dickerson waving in Casilla. There'll be no play. Another double. 2 RBIs. 3-2.
Yeah, Chris Stewart's going to go out. The Yankee catcher have a little conversation.
Our Alexis of Towson driving the game.
Well, here you go. You get into a hitter's count. In the middle of the plate. You don't hit 30, now 37 doubles if you don't use the whole field. He just finds a gap and drives it all the way to the wall. And then it kicks off. Here comes Casilla with his second Oriole run to make it 3-2.
And Manny goes in, applauding the 2 runs crossing. Potential tying run at second. Our drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, Baltimore's #1 Lexus dealer. See why at lexusoftowson.com. Manny, the major league leader in 2 baggers. Hardy a chance to get him in, 0 for 2. Orioles now 3 hits in the game, all in this inning off Sabathia. Machado has also upped his RBI numbers now to 41 on the year, so he's keeping his doubles and RBI pace about the same. Cano holding the runner tight at second. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and Hardy will take it away. Does Sabathia. In this inning, you see the difference in the output.
Yep. And one of them, when McLeod starts it off, a line drive, then the infield hit. And a little bit unlucky. If you're a Yankee fan, for the Orioles, they were exaltation where Casilla just doesn't even get it to the pitcher's mound and gets a base hit.
Hardy will put it up in the air, center field. Gardner Runner tagging. Manny's going to go. Here's the throw, and he's going to make it.
Well, there's your scouts. And those are your scouting reports. Who can you run on? Who can't you? Seems like it's a routine play, but what if Sabathia bounces one of those sliders? So he tags up. He knows it's routine. Otherwise, he'd be halfway. Brett Gardner makes a nice throw, but doesn't have the arm straight. And Bobby Dickerson, third base coach, just saying, get down. Gonzalez catches it, but easily into third.
So the Orioles potential tying run at third. Adam Jones, 2 down. Adam has flied out and grounded out. Sabathia showed bunt, took it up high.
Well, you mentioned that earlier. You don't really think he'll bunt, but in a 3-2 game with your third baseman 3-4 steps behind third base, that's the difference between being at second or third. Wouldn't be thinking about bunting. But now they're going to play in, and so it does at least maybe make it a little bit more of a chance to hit it by him.
1-0 count. Jones pops it up outside of first and foul. Adam with a 289 number with 2 down and runners in scoring position. Much of the year's been over 300 in that department, and trying to get this ball game tied up. Jones hitting at 295. Manny Machado able to get a pretty good secondary lead off third now. Jones will take it inside. Sabathia's thrown a couple of wild pitches this season and has hit 2 batters. Two ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Jones a roller. Adam with 12, 2 out. RBIs on the season. CC Sabathia trying to keep it there, and Jones trying to get it tied up.
Well, the league average is about 178 with 2 strikes, and Adams hitting 245. Those are the kind of numbers you look at. And a maturing hitter, not old for his friends, but a maturing hitter with thousands of at-bats now. So we talk about it all the time. The ability maybe to cut your swing down, use the whole field, and then get hits that you might swing through earlier in the count, trying to maybe hit for more extra bases.
2-2 delivery, and that's going to be fouled off. Adam is looking to become the 4th player now in the American League with 100 hits. He is sitting on 99 hits this season. Cabrera, Machado, Trout, all have passed the mark. Pedroia may have. He needed 1 to get there tonight. 2 ball, 2 strike count, and the delivery to him, and Jones chops it. This is going to be another tough play. That's going to be a base hit and an RBI, and the Orioles have tied it up. Hit number 100 on the year for Adam Jones.
Well, you can thank Manny Machado for great base running. Boy, what a difference. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, is going to come out. And he's probably going to ask CeCe, are you all right? So we've had 2 swinging bunts in 1 inning. And this is what Adam Jones does. He fouled off some good pitches. And does he get lucky? Of course. And CeCe knows you can just kind of throw it up. It's the only way you're going to make that play and maybe have a chance. So Machado goes from second and third on a routine fly ball and scores on the infield base hit to tie it up.
The little things that make a difference. If he doesn't do that, of course, there'd be runners at first and third, and the Orioles would still be down a run. But he did.
Well, and then it also gets the guy that's leading the American League in baseball and home runs to the plate in this inning.
Pedroia's at his 100th hit tonight. Adam gets his 100th hit. Ties the ball game up. 13 2-out RBIs.
So he now has, 18 RBIs in his last 19 games.
And here is Davis, and big cut on that one. Chris Davis has struck out twice against Sabathia. The Orioles making a habit of doing this. Opposing pitchers no hitting them for 4, 5 innings, and then coming back and in one inning, 6th or 7th, getting the ball game tied up. That's what they've done to Sabathia. And a little roller as he had to turn that one over, and a 2-strike count. So Chris down on the count, 3rd player all time with 25 or more home runs and 25 or more doubles by the end of June. That's all time. He's only the 3rd to do it. Larry Walker did it in '97 and Todd Helton in 2001. Java Chamberlain in the Yankee bullpen. Chris leads the American League in home runs and RBIs in June. And he has the most home runs at home, as you might expect for the major league leader in homers overall. 2-strike count on him with 2 away. Long inning for Sabathia. 0-2. Davis, did he go? No. Ooh. Tag put on just in case by Stewart.
This is what Adam Amare down at 3rd base is looking at. Does he go? No. That traveled a long way, but not far enough.
Look at that. 31 pitches thrown this inning after a very efficient 5 innings.
And it's not like he's really lost his stuff. Really, the only pitch up was the one to Machado that he hit into right field.
Davis takes it away. So Chris Davis works the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's Jones over at first base, 2 RBIs. Manny Machado on a double. Jones the infield single. Machado scoring the tying run. Sabathia with a 2-2 delivery, and Davis goes down again. So for Sabathia, 5 strikeouts, 3 of them have been Chris Davis, but the Orioles get 3 runs in the inning and have tied the game up. Orioles starter T.J. McFarland only lasted 2 2/3. Then came the 22-year-old Kevin Gausman, and he has shut the Yankees down since, picking up 4 strikeouts, walking nobody. And Gausman will work here in the 7th inning in a tie ball game at 3-3.
Yeah, you really like to, and you don't find that many guys that are long men. You know, in my era, when I came up, you had Davey Leonard, who went 66 and 21 in the minors, was always your 9th or 10th guy. And then it was Sammy Stewart, probably arguably the best long man, and he'd be out there. Certainly a guy that could have started, but with a strong staff, that's what Kevin brings to the table tonight. You start McFarland, and now all of a sudden he just slammed the door on the Yankees.
Now Gausman's looking for his first major league win. He's 0-3, so If he's able to stay out there and the Orioles get a lead that's credited on his side of the mark, maybe tonight's the night he gets number 1.
Well, he does a great job not only keeping in the game but saving your bullpen.
Yankees batting, 7th inning. Jason Nix, number 2 in the order, singled, struck out, grounded out. He has scored a run. The Yankees an RBI, Cano single in the first, Wells RBI single third. Same inning, Chris Stewart RBI base hit. Up the middle, and that hit Gausman. Played at third, Machado got him. And now the question is whether Gausman is all right.
Well, he's walking around like he's all right. And Machado just finished the business. It's hard to get out of the box when you're a hitter and you hit the ball right back up the middle, and they got him maybe on the right leg. Smiling. Right here, boom, right thigh.
You saw him smiling at his battery mate here as Wieters goes back behind to let him throw a couple here. See if he's all right. Those are the conversations you really want to hear. Wieters, most Oriole fans even would not realize it, is one of the funniest people on this ball club, but he has that Stephen Wright kind of wry, shy comedy. And Buck Showalter drives. Buck laughs out loud. He sometimes in the dugout he says, I have to get down into the runway during games because Matt would come by and say something to me that is just so funny. I can't help but laugh, but I don't want to do it and be seen doing it on TV. So he says I duck down underneath, have a good laugh, and come back. But Matt really has a great sense of humor, and whatever he said had Kevin Gausman smiling out there, even though he just got hit by a ball coming back about 120 miles an hour. Here's Robinson Cano, and Cano will foul it off at the plate. 2 singles, fly ball out, run scored, and RBI.
Yeah, 3 good at bats tonight. Took a 96-mile-per-hour fastball off Kevin Gausman, lined it right at Markakis after a couple of singles first 2 times up.
0-1 count, shift on in the infield against him. He'll go the other way, but foul, and a 2-strike count on Cano. No walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 singles against Gausman. Travis Hafner on deck. Wells was in the DH role with the left-hander starting the game. Hafner will take that over with a right-hander on the mound. Here's the 0-2 delivery. The other way. Well, he went against the shift that time. McCouth will come over to get it. And Cano is on with his 3rd hit of the game, 3 for 4. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. That will bring up Travis Hafner. With 1 away and nobody on, Hafner, who's done most of the DH work this season for the Yankees. You see the 12 home runs.
Yeah, 8 of them at Yankee Stadium. I mean 6 out of the last 20, but long term 12 for his last 81. So early on, very much like Vernon Wells, even Lyle Overbay to some extent, hitting much better earlier in the season, but a big, strong guy, and he makes you throw strikes. If you do not throw quality strikes, he's going to hit the ball hard, and if you don't throw him strikes, he's going to take the walk. He's always been able to do that.
Travis Hafner among the DHs is 2nd in home runs and 3rd in RBIs. 1-0 count on Hafner, runner on at first. Gausman giving up the base hit to Cano with 1 away. Ball game tied 3-3. The Yankees out hitting the Orioles 10-4 in the ball game, but the Orioles took advantage of those 4 hits in the 6th inning to tie the game up. 1-0 delivery, and Hafner will take it outside for a ball.
Yeah, this is where if you're a young pitcher, and that's what Kevin Gausman is at 22. You don't really know the hitters. Obviously, you have to rely on Matt Wieters, but he didn't come out there and say, listen, this guy will not swing at balls. It's just something, the longer you get your innings, you get to see guys like this. So he has worked himself into a pretty good hitting count here.
2-0 count on Hafner. Infield swung around again, playing him to pull. And he got him to go after one as he changed up on him.
Nice little equalizer there. Call it pitching backwards. He's looking fastball. You throw him a changeup. And not only is it a changeup, look at the location. Just running off the outside corner. If you're really going well, you get the ground ball, double play. But he swung right through it.
2-1 strikeout. Tight ball game with the Orioles making their comeback after being down 3-0. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and Hafner holds up. Well, game one is done in Chicago, and probably the players are too. Final score: Cleveland 19, the White Sox 10. Cleveland had 21 hits, the White Sox had 13. 34 total hits, 4 home runs. Cleveland went 13 for 25 with runners in scoring position.
Oh, nice little twilight game.
Game went 4 hours and 2 minutes. Swing and a miss.
There's another changeup and a fastball count.
And that's just game one of the doubleheader. Cleveland used 7 pitchers. Baver, their starter, lasted 2/3 of an inning. The White Sox used 5 pitchers. Their starter, Santiago, went 2 1/3 innings. Now they're going to play another game.
And the White Sox came in 5th in ERA at 3.77. That went up.
That went up.
Took a bit.
Wow.
Oh.
19-10 Cleveland. 3-2 strike count. Hafner with Cano at first base and fouls it off.
Well, that's, you go back, what the Rangers came in here and scored 39 runs in a doubleheader. The Orioles went from like 6th to 11th in August, like the end of August. That's what happens when you give up 39 runs in 2 games.
So 29 runs and 34 hits in the first game of 2, and it's a regular doubleheader, so they got about 25 minutes, and they'll play start game 2. 3-2 strike count. Cano is running. Hafner is hitting. That's going to go to the gap. It'll be run down by McLouth. Cano sees it and heads back to first. 2 down.
Yeah, 3-2. It's, you got a guy that's pretty disciplined hitter. Yeah, he strikes out, but if you're Kevin Gausman and you don't throw a strike, which he did, it's going to be ball 4. Perfect situation to run. Cano's 5 for 5 this year.
So here is Ichiro. Ichiro Suzuki 0 for 3 in the ball game against the Orioles this year. He's only had 3 hits and 18 at bats so far. 2 down, runner on at first base, 7th inning. Shows bunt, trying for a base hit. Matt Wieters jumps on it, got him. Mercy.
Out of the baseline anyway, but the moot point.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. 7th inning stretch time, Camden Yards. Great ball game underway. It's brought to you by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Orioles Yankees tied up. Game 2 of the 3-game set. Zach Britton takes the mound against David Phelps. And the series finale will come to you Sunday night. That'll be an 8:05 game on ESPN. Chris Tillman against Hiroki Kuroda. Orioles coverage on MASN 2 HD will return on Tuesday in Chicago. Game 1 of a 3-game set versus the White Sox. You can tune in 7:30 O's Extra presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 8 o'clock. Here, 7th inning stretch time in a 3-3 ball game. Before 40,041, 40,041. While Overbay has come on to play at first base, Adams out of there. Overbay will hit in his spot.
Yeah, they go with their better defense.
Matt Wieters will lead it off for the Orioles. He has grounded out twice. Sabathia, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Tie game, 7th inning. Wieters, Valencia, McLouth are due up. Sabathia, fastball fouled away. 93 pitches thrown in the ball game.
And still throwing 93 here in the 7th.
Only been 3 games, one a short outing in which he hasn't reached the 100 pitch mark. He's been over it, 112, 116. 114. He gets up in those numbers regularly. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Wieters. Orioles no hit through 5 innings. South got a single to get it going in the 6th, and the Orioles got 3 runs and 4 hits. Two teams tied on the season, 3-3. Three-2 delivery to Wieters towards the hole. Cano's there. Wieters is retired. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Play as one of the real Home Run Derby participants from the past 3 seasons in arcade mode or in Derby mode that recreates the authentic Home Run Derby tournament experience. Available on iPhone, iPad. Download MLB.com's Home Run Derby for free. Danny Valencia. Valencia is grounded out, flied out. And Sabathia will start him out with a strike. Orioles out hit 10-4, but taking advantage of the opportunities in this ball game. 1 inning, get the runs in. And the pitch up high. Yankees are just 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They've had opportunities. Orioles 2 for 4.
Yeah, and those 3 hits were early. And only the one extra base hit to lead off the game by Gardner for the Yanks.
1 and 2.
Well, I think that's when you talked about the fact that the Yankees with all the guys on the DL, Teixeira and A-Rod and Jeter and Granderson. It's not that these guys can't hit a little bit. You just don't get the slugging numbers. The home runs that you had last year.
Sabathia with a 1-2 delivery on the way. Valencia will 9-iron that one foul. And the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Yankee bullpen not active. Sabathia with 100 pitches thrown.
Yeah, the Orioles, they probably got excited. The job of Chamberlain really struggled. 9 runs in his last 6 innings.
Got him.
Yep. 94. So anybody that was calling for the demise of CC Sabathia, I mean, this is old time stuff right here. Downhill, down in the strike zone. It's already softened him up with some changeup and breaking balls and a little extra.
Sabathia's had 10 strikeouts in a ball game twice this year, against Seattle and against Boston. His career high is 14. He set that against Seattle back in July of 2011. Pitch is taken down low. Nate McLouth. Nate kicked it off. Got the base hit in the 6th inning that started it. His first hit in a position in the order other than leadoff this year. 1-0 delivery to him, and a towering fly ball right field.
came in 1 for 4 off CC Sabathia. He's now 2 for 2 in his last 2 at bats.
Here's our Hyundai drive of the game.
One of the few bad breaking balls all night long. Hanging slider, speeds up the bat, towering high drive that when it comes down, the Yankees will be trailing by 1. And yeah, I mean, that look, I don't have to say anything. I've had that look many times. You think you're going to make a good pitch, you made it all night long, and you make a mistake, and McLeod doesn't miss it. Devastation. Your heart's down by your toes.
Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. Chamberlain back up. CC Sabathia surrenders just his 4th home run of the year to a left-hander of the 17 that he has given up. And here's Casilla, who will take it for a strike, and the Orioles have a 4-3 lead in the game. Big night for Nate McLeod with a 2 for 3 and 2 runs scored. 0-1 delivery on the way, out in front of it. Casilla, who has singled and reached on an error. Tommy Hunter in the bullpen. This now gives the Orioles reliever a chance to get his first win of the season. Kevin Gausman, that runs for him. Cano will make the play and record the out, but the Orioles will get the lead. Nate McLeod's batting in the number 8 spot, picking up his 5th home run here in the 7th inning, and the Orioles lead it 4-3. When Jack says yes, you pay less at Antwerpen Toyota in Howard County Auto Park. Visit AntwerpenToyota.com today and by your local BMW Center. Legends Park. Make sure you visit when you come to Camden Yards. CC Sabathia, after giving up the home run, headed off.
Well, very disappointing, and obviously, he makes one bad pitch, a hanging slider, a little unlucky on the 3-run inning. Boy, the emotional part of the game. Just think the highs and the lows. When Tommy Hunter comes on, an integral part of this Oriole bullpen. Orioles down 9th out of the bullpen in earned run average. Last year they were the 3rd best. A little bit of a rough go. The lefties, righties. I mean, he dominates righties. Hadn't given up a home run. 6 against left-handers. The one that really kind of started that weekend in Toronto. The blown save for Tommy Kawasaki, hitting his only home run of the year down the right field line on a cutter. But he's come in and used his pitches, stayed out of the middle of the plate, and get it up there to 98, 99 miles per hour.
This will be the 3rd game for Hunter against the Yankees this year. He has worked 3 innings, giving up no runs on 1 hit, no walks, and 2 strikeouts against the Yankees this year. So Kevin Gausman out of there in a great performance. 4 1/3 innings, no runs, 3 hits. no walks, and 4 strikeouts. And Gossman's got a chance to win his first major league game. Off the bat of Almonte to left. McLeod is there. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 8th inning. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates. Manny Machado has delivered a big 2 RBI double in this ball game, and some good D at third again. Kevin Gossman, we told you, with a great relief performance, a chance to win it. And Nate McLeod, he's delivered a single, a homer, 2 runs, and an RBI. Text your vote, A, B, or C, 31826. Chris Stewart, an RBI base hit, and he has struck out twice. Tommy Hunter's pitch to him is a strike. Stewart 1 for 1. The only at bat he's had against Tommy Hunter. 8th inning, game 1 of this weekend set against the Yankees. And a pitch will be taken outside. Girardi on the left, trying to figure out these lineups as he goes from day to day, and just hoping, like Showalter, trying to figure out his starters. He's got the lineup, but who's going to pitch? Well, at least for the next 2 games against the Yankees, that has been settled.
That's kind of the contrast between, you got Joe, he's going to send out 3 quality starters, and Orioles are just hoping you get back to where you're getting what you had the last 2 months of last year. Quality starts.
Makes the play. Stewart is retired. 2 down in the 8th inning. 2 away, nobody on. That will bring up Lyle Overbay. He'll get his first at bat. It will be interesting if Brian Roberts indeed is ready to come back, as seemingly he is this week. But Showalter said it would be this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. He said before the game today it would affect Roberts' return, the fact that Sabathia was pitching tonight and not tomorrow. So we'll see what that means. Here's Lyle Overbay. He goes to center field. That'll be a base hit. So first pitch he sees in the game.
So now he's 6 for 10 with 2 home runs. So a soft single to center is, you'll give that up.
And the Yankees get a man on with 2 down here in the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Gonzalez, their third baseman, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts in the game. Yankees continuing to out-hit the Orioles 11-5. Alberto Gonzalez with 2 outs. And Hunter will step off. Gonzalez actually made his major debut with the Yankees back in 07. Then he got moved away. Chicago Cubs, played for them, and then was returned to the Yankees. Minor league deal, then a major league contract signed to get him up here on the 21st of June. Second stint with the Yankees this year. Came over from the Cubs in early May for future considerations. Fouls that off the end of the bat. 1-1.
There's a 93-mile-per-hour cutter. Just hold a little off center and you cut it. Slider kind of, if you're Tommy's height, it'll not only slide away but go down and across the plate. The cutter usually stays on the same plane, but it looks like a fastball and then moves. And then really late on the fastball there at 97.
1 ball, 2 strike count.
So a really slow bat. Fouled it out of Weeder's glove. Look, they throw him with 2 strikes here.
1-2 delivery on the way, right by him. So Tommy Hunter gets the strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Bottom half of the 8th inning coming up. believes he could be the losing pitcher. The 7 innings, 4 runs, all earned on 5 hits. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 6. The Yankees will go to the bullpen in Jabba Chamberlain.
So we told you that Jobbers really, got booed off the mound, did not pitch well in his last outing. 9 earned runs in last 6 2/3 innings. So Buck Showalter will tell you a lot of times, if you're Joe Girardi or when he managed with the Yankees, you bring a guy in where you can hope to get him back on track. Well, the amazing thing about when you look at the numbers, Gary, is that right-handers are hitting .356. This is the guy, 95, 96, nice little bit curveball and a nice little slider.
So Jabba Chamberlain, and here's our Infinity Do-Up, brought to you by Infinity. From the 7th inning or later this season, Markakis at .283, Machado at .279, and J.J. Hardy at .269, and all have picked up 2 home runs and numerous RBIs, 7th inning or later. Now the Orioles have the 4-3 lead. And Markakis an 0 for 3 in the ball game. Nick will take on Jabba Chamberlain. He is 5 for 10 lifetime off Chamberlain. And the pitch is there for a strike. Orioles trying to take game 1. Oh, 1 count on Markakis. And he'll pop that up outside of third. Gonzalez will not have a play. Homestand, the Oriole fans have really seen some amazing games with these potential no-hitters going into the 5th or 6th inning of a ball game, and then the Orioles turning it on. No hits through 5. McClough starts it. Orioles send 7 up in that big 6th inning, 3 runs, 4 hits, and then get the go-ahead home run by McClough.
Well, this is the best offense I've seen since the '97 Orioles that went wire to wire. The man, an all-star team, highest payroll in baseball. They could beat you so many different ways.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Markakis is going to get one into right field. It'll stay up, and Ichiro will make the catch.
Yeah, there you go. Catch it or get hurt.
Pretty good slide. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Clark's Blue Shield contributes $50 to the Y of Central Maryland's Fit and Fun program. 202 walks, $10,100. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Well, there's an example of what happens when you've given up 9 runs in your last 6 and now 7 innings. Is that you end up throwing stuff in the middle of the plate. And Chamberlain very, very lucky that wasn't an extra base hit. Nick Markakis crushed it.
Brian Mattis in the bullpen for the Orioles. Manny Machado a double, of course. Picked up the 2 RBIs in the 6th inning. Wake up call.
Yep.
1-1.
Little chin music. All you got to do is go back. Jabba's first year, he threw one over Youkilis's head. Was his teammate this year, and ball riding in '93 up and in. Just in case you're going to cover the outside corner.
Goes back out there. Will miss up high. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, isn't that the story? You buzz a guy up and in at his helmet, and then the next thing is just trying to throw a slider low and away. He missed.
Machado on the cut on a pitch that came back down and in that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Manny Machado coming in with a .269 average against the Yankees. The games he played last year and this year, and that big double in the 6th inning would put the first 2 on the board, and then Adam Jones would bring him home, and he made that fine play tagging up at second, moving to third, so Jones could do that with a single, infield single. Down to first base, that's Overbay. 2 down here in the 8th inning for Hardy. Hardy will come in with an 0 for 3. 2 down, bases empty in the bottom of the 8th inning. JJ here in June hitting .326 starting the day, 5 home runs. Overall now at .262 in the year. And the pitch by Chamberlain will be in the dirt for a ball. One-run games. Orioles are 11-11. The Yankees are 13-7. One-run ball games. Hardy inside. Niels leans back a little bit. Count goes to 2-0. Hardy's got a 2 for 3 off Chamberlain with a home run.
Well, it's one of those home run counts. Pull hitter, 2-0. And he gets the get me over slider. And he takes it.
Count goes to 2-1. Hardy will foul it back. So Jarva Chamberlain comes back on him and gets the count evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time. He is ready to pitch.
Joe Girardi's Yankees, if they lose this one, it'll be 3 in a row they will have lost. And Hardy did go. So the strikeout recorded by Chamberlain. The Orioles, though, are 3 outs away from putting this first game into the W column, and Tommy Hunter is going to come out to try and wrap it up. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. Gary Thorne, Chip Palmer here at Camden Yards. The Orioles lead it by 1. Go to the 9th inning, 3 outs away, and it is not Jim Johnson coming in a save situation. Tommy Hunter is going to stay out on the mound. Hunter did not have a major league save prior to this season. He has recorded 1 this year, and he's going to get another shot at it right here. April 20th against the Dodgers, he picked up the save, 3-inning save in that game.
And then you got Mattis still up in the bullpen with Cano in the hole. Third hitter due up.
And the pitch will be taken by Gardner. 1-run ball game, 9th inning.
Well, the Yankees have their guy up. He scored 45 runs now. He's been red hot. He's hit in 27 out of 33 games at about a .330 clip.
It'll be Gardner, Nixon, Cano due up. Top of the order. Hunter with a 1-0 delivery to him, and that's there.
Now, what Tommy's been able to do, and use the curveball, and he uses his cutter, and he can get to 98. That's what he struck out Alberto Gonzalez on. So nothing really changes here. Just make your pitches, trust your stuff, stay out of the middle of the plate, right to the glove.
1-1 to Gardner's there. He could not turn the bat around on it. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And foul back by Gardner. Jim Johnson worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in games. Did not pitch on Thursday. So he's getting the night off, it looks like, here on Friday. Jim Div had a blown save against the Indians. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled away.
Yeah, one of the quandaries for a reliever or even a starting pitcher is when a guy is, those balls are 96, 97 miles per hour. So look at Jim Johnson is, okay, he's late on your fastball. Do I really want to speed up the bat? You can still do it in this count. That 1 and 2 counts. It's certainly advantageous for the pitcher. But and there's another. It looks like another fastball outside corner.
1-2 delivery to Gardner, who was 1 for 10 off Hunter. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Yankees batting in the 9th. They had a 3-0 lead disappear when the Orioles got 3 runs in the 6th inning, and 2 on an RBI, 2 RBI double. Manny Machado. Jones tied it up, RBI single. A Klaus home run put him ahead in the 7th. 2-2 pitch to him, and again that'll be foul back. Yankees runs early. Cano first inning, 2nd inning Wells and Stewart with RBI singles. Mattis is ready. He was ready last inning. He's just staying warm.
Well, the numbers, I mean, the matchup, the numbers are not good. Mattis against Cano. They're horrible.
2-2 delivery on the way to Gardner, and he got him.
Well, that's pitching. Folks, I mean, this is a former starter, 13-game winner with the Rangers. And he came over with Chris Davis. Look at, right there, a nice little curveball. Late on the fastball, fouled off, pretty good swing at the slider. Matt Wieters puts down curveball and throws it perfectly underneath the bat. And Gardner's talking to himself.
1 down. Jason Nix will go after the first pitch. He has singled scored, 1 for 4 in the ball game. Nix with an 0 for 1 off Hunter. Orioles seeking yet another comeback win on the season and looking to get one above 500 and 1-run games. Into the screen, fouled off. Here's the voting for the AT&T player of the game so far. Still time for your voice to be heard. Text A, B, or C 31826. Results in the O's Extra post-game show.
Yeah, Kevin Gosman says, just get me 2 more outs. I'll get my first major league win. And Manny, nice little double, nice little base running. You can be the player of the evening.
And the pitch taken outside. Nix watching it, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tommy Hunter after his 2nd major league save. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and he got him.
Watch this cut fastball. And the illusion is it's going to stay on the plate, and it's about 8 inches off. Perfect pitch. That's back-to-back strikeouts on about as good a breaking ball as you can throw.
Yeah, what a great way to have a potential ending to the ball game with 2 down. This is your mano-a-mano. Tommy Hunter, who brings it at that big mid-90s fastball. Robinson Cano, one of the game's outstanding hitters. He's had 3 hits tonight, 3 for 4, and he bats with 2 down. And he'll take the first pitch for a strike.
Yeah, 98. Well, the last base hit was down the left field line. They play him a little bit to pull in the infield, but the outfield pretty much straight away and deep.
0-1 delivery to him. Cano's down 0-2. Two-strike delivery. Cano ground ball. In the hole, Manny Machado. This ball game's over. And the Orioles take the first, 4-3 the final. And congratulations to Kevin Gausman, who picks up his first Major League win. Hunter picks up his second Major League save. And Nate McLeod picks up a game-winning RBI with a home run in the 7th inning. And the Orioles beat the left-hander. CC Sabathia loses it.